I didn't have that thick skin, and so having 3 older brothers on set completely changed how I interact with the world around me now. So I'm super grateful for those 3 for
Welcome to NCIS Partners and Probies. I am Brian Dietzen.
And I'm Diona, Reasonover.
This week we are joined by an actor, a director, a breakout star of NCIS Los Angeles.
We are talking about none other than Daniela Ruah. Oh, my favorite.
I know. She plays Kenzie Bly for, was it 14 years on NCIS Los Angeles?
I think so.
She was also on, I think she was also on Hawaii. I know she was on The Mothership. She was also on Hawaii Five-0.
And she's not just an actor, she's also a director. We talk about a lot of very cool things. We get a little bit into her directing process.
What a great life this person has. I'm serious. So she starts acting in soaps in Portugal. And that brings her to New York. And it seems like every time she has an at-bat, every time she has an opportunity, like she's knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, it's incredible to hear about how her process for acting is. You're gonna love it.
Thank you so much for being on Partners and Probies.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. I love you guys. We've known each other for years. You and I only a year and a half or so.
Yeah, literally.
Right? When I went on to direct, but it's been.
We got to share the stage together on NCIS initially, and then actually I never came over.
You're season 6.
Season 6.
So if you're on season 24 now.
Thank you. Thank
24.
You. No, we're not, but thank you.
Almost.
I'm not going to crunch those numbers.
You're into
I don't know.
23.
I know it was
23.
I know it's 23 because last year was 22 and I kept singing that Taylor Swift song, which I won't say because we don't have the licensing for. 22.
Right.
There you go.
So now it's 23.
But that's right. But you and I met in season 6.
Season 6, and you directed episodes for us.
Yes,
I did. I directed one.
2 years ago.
Which is where we met on season 21.
21.
Left Unsaid.
That's right.
I did just look that up. That's actually not that impressive.
That was a lot of fun.
So you, tell me a little bit about your career prior to NCIS Los Angeles. Now you kind of burst on the scene as Kenzie in LA, but you've been acting since you're like 16.
Yeah,
15. I don't know the story. Tell me where we started.
So I burst on the scene in Portugal when I was 15. So I got home one day and I turned on the TV as I often did. And by the way, we're a little bit behind with some stuff. Not so much now, but back then we were a little behind with what was on TV. So I would always get home. We're talking, late 90s, and I put on The Love Boat because that was playing.
You got to get home for the new episode of MASH. Yeah.
No, there was The Love Boat and it was the A-Team. And Kit.
Oh, awesome.
Not Kit, what do you call it? Knight Rider.
Rider.
Those things were on back then, and it was so exciting to watch. And anyway, so I turned on the TV, and then all of a sudden there was a commercial saying, we're looking for the new protagonist for a soap opera that Channel 4 is doing, and come do the audition on this day if you're between 14 and 16 years old at this theater, et cetera. So I told my mom, I said, I'm going to go sign up. And I did. And
you're 15 and you're just like.
I was like 15.
I can do that.
Yeah. Well, I was already doing theater classes and I was in dance school. Like I've liked being on stage. I always have. That it wasn't like a surprise or anything like that I wanted to do it. But yeah, so I signed up and then they called me in for an audition and then I got the call back and then I didn't get the protagonist they were looking for, but I got her best friend. And that just-
On your first audition too.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
Does that happen every time for you?
No.
It doesn't happen for me.
No, hell no. I forget what actress it was, but somebody said that it takes an average of 64 auditions before you hear a yes. And I don't know if that statistic is right, but it certainly feels right.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, much like you guys, it's like you get lucky that the yes that you did get happened to be something that lasted years and years and years. And for me, the soap operas, ours don't last decades the way they do here. It's more of the, I guess, the Latino style where it's like about a year to a year and a half and then it finishes and a new one starts. But it snowballed from there, basically. So I did a couple soap operas, went off to college, studied performing arts, went back, did another couple soap operas, and then I said, I need to move to New York. Because if it's getting too cushy here and if I don't go, I'm never going to go.
Now, did you want to do more soap operas in New York or would you want to move into something else?
I think there was a mix of, at this point, I'll take any job that gets me started in the U.S.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But at the same time, I was hoping that it wasn't necessarily a soap opera just because I know so easily that we can get pigeonholed in a genre. And in fact, even being on our kind of show, like the procedural, people are like, oh, you've been on it for so long. Aren't you afraid of getting pigeonholed? And like, not really. Because if anything, like our characters go through so many emotional, there's such a big spectrum of what our shows present. There's comedy, there's drama, there's action, there's camaraderie, there's so much wonderful stuff that, if anything, you're just showcasing what you're capable of doing, which is great.
The long form storytelling, over a whole season, let alone like many years. I mean, it represents a whole different type of challenge. So, so when you move to New York, what are you working on then? What happens?
So I moved to New York in 2007, and I did have my performing arts degree. I did have some experience under my belt, nothing in English. So I enrolled in the Lee Strasberg School, because I knew that I wanted to sort of research the business in the U.S., which is vastly different than how it works in Portugal, and it's really different than how it works in England.
Was Strasberg, was it strictly theater-based, or was it into TV and film as well?
You had on-camera classes. I didn't opt for those. Those were electives because I did come from that background, and so I just really wanted to dive into sort of acting technique and behavior, circumstances, what's the character's objective, and study more theater-based things, because I think much like ballet, that's like the core for any other type of dance. Like theater's the core for any other type of performance, I think. And it gave me a chance to network, to meet people. I didn't even know what the agencies were. The representing agencies were here. I didn't know what CAA was, what Gersh was, what UTA was, what Endeavor was. I didn't know any of these things. And so I didn't want to sit home twiddling my thumbs, trying to figure stuff out. Like, I was like, okay, at least I'm continuing to practice my craft, and I get to meet people and research and ask questions and go on to different websites, do student films, you can't have an ego about this stuff, especially when you're starting all over again.
Get those hours in.
Get those hours in, meet those people. And so, I did a lot of free work. And at some point there was a table read, right? There was an actor who'd written a script, and he was going to read it in front of potential financiers. And he said, you know what, I don't have money to pay you, but there's going to be a lot of people there that might be good for networking, including a casting director. I said, okay, fine. So I went, and it was the casting director for Guiding Light at the time, Rob DeCina.
Oh, cool.
Nice. And we really hit it off. He was such a lovely person. And he said, do you have representation? And I said, no, I'm looking. I said, okay. And that was kind of it. And then about a few weeks later, I got a call from my agency, and they said, hey, this agent wants you to come in and sit with her. And I did. And it was a love story after that. Like, we're still together after 18 years.
Oh my gosh.
She got me NCIS, and she put me in my first pilot season and got the show and got Red Tails, the movie. And
just to clarify, this does not normally happen. Like, how many agents have you been through?
Oh, yes. There's a few.
Yeah, I've got a Rolodex. So this is amazing.
Yeah, and I've been with my agent in Portugal for like 20 years as well. Obviously we all want things to go well, and it's always nice. Yeah. But I've been lucky enough to have people who never became complacent. I didn't become complacent. Like, we very much feed off of each other. And I think this is actually a really good thing for anybody who's trying to get into the business. Like, the agent doesn't work for you and you don't work for the agent. You guys know this already. I'm just saying for those listening at home, you work for each other. If they win, you win, and vice versa. And I think that kind of dynamic is also helpful to keep people healthy and happy in that relationship. Because the minute you start treating someone like they owe you, or you are treated like you owe them something, it just changes everything. And it should always be a sort of equal footing. And so that's the dynamic I have with both of my representatives in both countries. And it feels good. They're friends at this point.
Yeah.
And
that's the dynamic that honestly it felt like when you were directing that you had with the actors. Like, it felt so good to work with you.
Oh, that feels really good too.
It did. It was so easy.
And that's why I paid you 10%. Because I felt like you were doing some work with us, and I was like, you've earned this.
We were on equal footing.
Yeah. I like, you've earned it. Yeah. It was.
You're so silly.
But you said that once you got this agent, you got this audition for NCIS Los Angeles.
So yeah.
Is this how many pilot seasons are we talking here? Is this is the first
one?
This is the first one. I knew it.
I knew it.
You just got this guilty look, like, I'm sorry.
She's like, by the way, that never happens that you stay with,
Well, because I have to clarify, because everybody at home doesn't know. I mean, you can churn for years, and you know what I mean.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm not shocked. You're such an incredible actress, truly.
That's very kind of you. But there's a lot of amazing actors out there, and everybody puts in the work. Like, it's effort, it's putting in the work, it's being in the right place at the right time. But it's also a modicum of luck. Let's be honest, right?
Yes.
Let's be honest.
But you know what? The people that are the most prepared somehow are the luckiest.
Are the luckiest ones,
right?
Yes.
Like, so I mean, it's preparation meets opportunity.
Yes.
Obviously,
Equals
you get this phone call, and you step up to the thing. I feel like I feel fortunate because there's a lot of stories like that on NCIS, where it's like, well, let's try this person out. Like I was supposed to be a one-day guest star.
I remember.
And then it just turned into something else.
Don't leave.
Yeah, we'll keep doing that thing.
And I was trying to get to a local McDonald's and had wandered on a set.
Yeah.
And at the time they needed a dead body, and I said, "All right, I'll do that," but I kept blinking.
Yeah.
So.
And for a couple of weeks she was known as you there, and then and then she came over and they go, "What do you need?" And then she was great at talking.
Yeah, I was okay at talking.
And now it's been how many years?
So now it's been many years. Old Blinky's in front of the camera now. My favorite story about that actually is, didn't you win an award for Best Newcomer?
Oh.
But after you had already done so much work.
Which award is this?
No, so we have our own Golden Globes in Portugal. Nice. And listen, I'll be grateful for any Golden Globe anybody wants to give me. I'll be happy with it. Mm-hmm. But it was funny that there was one year I got nominated, and I'd done all the soap operas already, and I was probably somewhere in the first few seasons of our show.
Yeah.
And it was like newcomer of the year, and I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take the recognition. Sure.
So when you get up on stage, you're like, the lights and all the cameras.
No, actually, I think I got up on stage and kind of, because it was heavy, and I kind of went like this, and then I was like, "You're an idiot. Put it down. Stop. Just say thank you and leave."
Dude, no, that's awesome. I said, "No, that's awesome."
I was just like, when you make yourself cringe, but you can't show the audience because there's like a few thousand people right there, and you're like, just say thank you and walk off.
You should have gone full cringe and just started talking
about
the gun show.
In my mind, I did. I was like, "Oh God, Danny, put it down." Anyway, so it was a very nice thing, and I have it still,
And was this on your first season on?
No, it was
NCIS,
probably. I actually don't remember. I'd have to look up the year, but first or second season, somewhere in there.
That's fantastic.
So, but I'll take it. I'm very grateful for it.
I sort of looked off like I was going to be able to know. I was like, "Well, I hate math."
Hold on.
I
was like, "Oof."
I'm curious. I want to hear stories real quick about coming to do a 2-part backdoor episode on NCIS.
Yeah.
Right? So when NCIS LA was pitched by Shane Brennan, who was then running our show, the mothership, NCIS, Original Recipe, and he said, "I want to do a show that is called NCIS Legends. It's going to be all about people that are undercover." And
was it Legends? Wasn't it OSP, Office of Special Projects? I remember it always as OSP.
It was originally NCIS. The scripts, remember, was called Legends Part 1, Legends Part 2.
You're
so it's
right.
going to be called NCIS Legends. And then and he pitched this whole storyline because we had a lot of undercover shows, as you guys did, and he said, "I really like that facet of it." So he wanted to zero in on making that the thing. And of course, then you guys became your own awesome cop show that wasn't necessarily that, but it was you finding your own thing. But when you did those 2 episodes, how did that feel coming on? And did you guys, or you specifically, did you watch the show? Did you kind of research to see what the vibe was and
100%,
coming from a different genre of soaps and stuff like that?
For sure. So the sort of, to preface this, I grew up watching all crime shows.
Okay.
Like I said, we were a little bit behind with the episodes that were airing here in the US, but it was like Criminal Minds, House, NCIS, all of the CSIs. I would gobble them all up. So the irony of me ending up on a show like that is like, oh, of course she did, right?
At home.
Yeah.
And yes, I totally felt at home with the genre and what the shows felt like. So absolutely, I was familiar already with the show. In fact, it was funny because in that pilot season, when I got the audition for it, my first instinct, because I was like, well, all the CSIs were still on the air. Criminal Minds was still on the air. You guys were on the air. And I was like, there is no way CBS is going to pick up another procedural. Like, where would they even put it? What did I know? I'm a 24-year-old idiot at that point. And I almost didn't go to the audition.
Oh,
really?
And I almost didn't go because maybe I had a few that week, and I was like, where am I going to invest my time in learning the lines and creating the character just for that, those 20 minutes in the audition room?
Yeah.
And I almost didn't go. And my agent was like, you should go.
Yeah.
You should go.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And so I did, and it was awful. It went awful. I was in New York at the time, and it was a very, very small room. I've told this on some talk shows before, but perhaps for some new listeners. And it was an action sequence. It was one of the action sequences in Legends where there's a shootout and we're in the middle of the street. I'd never held a gun before. And at the time it was wrist mics. So we were supposed to be talking into our wrist mics. So our invisible earwigs.
Don't wear a short sleeve shirt. A little funny.
And so, it was like, Blackbird is under fire. We're under fire. And she's like, just the casting director in New York was like, just move around the room. And I was like, move around the cubicle, speaking into this, holding a gun I've never held before. So I'm pretty sure I did this.
Like and you're just, gun, not like.
No, just fingers, finger guns.
Great, finger gun.
Yep. I'll let Charlie's Angels.
Shooter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm just like kind of going side to side, trying to be as physical as I could at a small cubicle.
Were you snaking the gun? Is that
No, because there was nowhere to go. It was like wall and wall. And so I was like,
did you take cover?
I took as much cover as I could behind the chair in the room. And
take cover by standing right there.
But so we did that. And then the second scene was like a big speech where I'm supposed to be speaking to a group of other agents, like giving them the lowdown of what's coming and like reassuring them it's going to be okay and we're going to get the bad guy. But it was a lot of dialogue, a lot of monologue, put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the more, and for that one, I got a little nervous because again, this was my first pilot season, right? Yeah. So I got a little nervous, and then you mess up a line, and then I wasn't sort of proficient enough in what we do to just continue, yeah. Take the line back, just go back and continue from where you are. So I kept going back to the beginning, and then I got more nervous, and then you start making mistakes earlier on in the monologue, and then then casting director was like, just breathe, it's okay, like we'll cut it together, we'll make it, don't worry. Anyway, I walked out, I was like, that was a dud. Like there's no way. And then I got the call back, and I was like, I'm confused. Because all the other ones I thought I had nailed, I did not evidently nail.
That was the feeling of nailing it. You know, when you leave and you're like,
and nailing
I hate my life. I'm going to tear this up, put it in the trash.
But I wasn't even, I hate my life. It was just like, I'm not even going to worry about this. Like, this is just not happening.
I know what it is, though. I think I actually know what it is, having not seen the audition. But having watched the show, I was like, there's this great humanity that you bring to the character, right? Because sometimes you watch these cop shows and the cops are like, hello, I am perfect. You know, I've caught the bad guy. He's at my feet. But there's this like incredible like liveliness, humanity, like a little goofy, a little funny, like so smart. And I bet they saw that, you know what I mean? In being a little imperfect, it makes you more human.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. And I think those qualities definitely like also developed more and more in Kenzie as the years went by and as I became more comfortable with her. Because when I first started, when they're like, she's strong and she's tough and she's this and that, my first reaction was like, be stiff.
Right.
Because in my mind, stereotypically, however you want to social influence, whatever it is, like if a woman is smart and tough and gets the job done, she's not goofy and funny. Right. And so I've made an effort to actually hide that part of myself because I'm way more, anybody who knows me knows that I'm an idiot, really. I'm smart, but a little bit of an idiot. And my kids may or may not take after me on that. My son is like a little Jim Carrey. He's so
watching this right now?
Oh, they will, and they'll laugh their butts off.
They're catching strays.
But just to say, so everything I did, it felt like I had like a stick up my butt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was very, very stiff. And I remember it was only a couple of seasons into it, and it was probably actually when Eric joined the show as Deeks.
3 or?
No, he came and did some like tryout episodes at the end of 1 and then joined us as a regular in 2. So it was very early on.
Right. Yeah.
And he is such a humorous comedic actor, and he's so at ease with himself when it comes to being, you know, like snarky and whip smart and just like the comebacks. And I think that helped me, I can do that and still look smart.
Yeah.
Or come across as smart.
If he can take it that far, then I can not have to go that far.
And
still look, you still feel comfortable within it. Well,
exactly.
I think that your relationship with him in that show, it just always feels like that is the essence of like the Don Belisario show. You're talking about like these old shows that you would watch, you know, between like Magnum PI and Quantum Leap, where there's drama to it, but there's this humanity because of self-deprecation.
Yes.
And I feel like the two of you together like really embody that a lot. And it was so beautiful to watch. And then of course the romance that follows and all that sort of thing that everyone falls in love with. It was a real engine for the show. How did you feel about the progression of the relationship?
I thought it was a very natural progression. I thought it was a progression that made sense. I think we always knew off the bat that it would somehow lead in that direction. Yeah. And Eric and I have great chemistry. Like, for those who don't know, we're actually family members at this point. But
your whole cast. I mean,
we're all family.
Your whole cast is a family.
I was everybody's little sister. Put it this until Renee joined us as Nell. I was the youngest one.
She stole that away from you.
She stole my young card. My youngest. Well, yeah, she's what, I don't know, like maybe 2 or 3 years younger than me. Yeah. So we're not that far apart. But for a very long time until she joined our show, I was the youngest one, and other than Hetty, Linda Hunt, I was kind of the only girl. And I was the only girl like in the action sequences because it was Chris and Todd, LL, and Eric, and then there was me.
I'm dumb.
So I was
I'm sorry. I'm dumb because you said. What do you mean? You said other than Hetty, I'm the only. You were gonna say girl, but I thought you were gonna say I'm younger than Hetty. Where I was like, we know. I was like, yeah, we know. So sorry.
She was very young at heart. I'll tell you that. She was very funny and very young at heart. But yeah, and so I was just kind of like everybody's younger sister, and funnily enough, you didn't ask this question, but I'll tell you anyway.
Please do. I was just getting into it.
No, it's interesting how our show was the petri dish for me to grow a thick skin. Okay. Because I grew up as an only child. Oh. Meaning I didn't grow up with like the pestering sibling, older or younger, annoying you and like just learning how to ignore and let things bounce off of you like most siblings are able to do. Yeah. And I see it with my kids when they bicker. I'm like, and they're like, Mom, you didn't grow up with siblings. You don't know. Yeah.
So my son actually had like 3 other older brothers on set, basically.
Basically, yes. Yeah. And by the way, my son once turned to me, they were bickering in the back of the car a couple of years ago, and my son was like, Mom, don't get involved. The fuel will run out on its own. Like, we'll be fine. Like, stop. He's like, you're making it worse.
That's like a little Yoda back there. Like,
no, forget it. Come on. The other day he goes, can you just not be my mom for a second and just like be my life coach? I have questions. And I was like,
gosh.
He's 11.
How old?
He's 11. But the thing with the fuel running out, he was like 9.
That's really good.
No, he's like,
a book.
No, he's got some one-liners that are lessons for me.
Hey.
But yes, but I didn't have that thick skin, and so having 3 older brothers on set really affected me at what I thought was negatively at first, and then I realized how wonderful and how positive and how grateful I am for the years where it kind of, the growing pains were happening for me. Yeah. And they weren't doing anything wrong. We were all making fun of each other. Like, it was a great environment. It just so happened to be that I didn't have the thick skin to withstand the brotherly love.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I did, because it's completely changed how I interact with the world around me now.
Wow.
In any, like a new set, as a director, when I go into a new set, like if somebody's, they want to, because some people love to test the waters, right? You come along, you're a new person, they're like, let me throw a jab and see how she reacts.
Sure.
Believe it or not, it happens a lot.
Shocking.
Shocking. Not just because I'm a woman, but just like in general, it can happen, right? Sure. And I'm able to come back immediately with something probably inappropriate, but let's be honest.
You just blame Eric Christian Olsen? Be like, I learned it from him.
I learned it from that guy.
You get on your earwig. Sorry. Wait, hold on. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm funny.
Well,
got it.
Yeah.
And then there's almost like, okay, she's cool. Like, we can play now. We can play, and there's a comfort, and so I'm super grateful for those 3 for giving me the proverbial noogie without actually giving me a noogie.
Well, since we're talking about directing, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. When did you first kind of start to feel like, hey, this is something I'm really interested in, and I'd be great at it?
And I'm going to kill it.
And I'm great.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't have the kill it or be great sensation when I first started considering
like a person.
it.
Do you want some tissue?
No, thank you so much. I think it was just a little bit of mascara. I got it. Thank you, though.
No, I do that all the time.
He'll never know.
You'll never
the mascara
understand.
clumps do in your eyeball.
You know what I do on the weekends with the mascara and everything.
We've asked you to please stop poking yourself in mascara and filming it and putting online.
What was your question?
I was asking when you started to
directing.
Yeah, I want to hear about directing.
Decide you want to start killing it.
So So the interesting thing about this is that my agent, had asked me multiple times in previous years if I'd be interested in doing that. Because it's common for actors to jump either behind the script or jumping behind the camera, right? As a director. And I just didn't think I had, it was a total self-esteem thing. I just didn't think that I would have the self-esteem to be able to literally be the conductor of a freight train, right? For 14 days. It's seven prep plus the 7 shooting. The idea of the multitasking in the magnitude that it is, because our episodes, let's face it, are millions of dollars and you don't want to be wasteful.
Right.
Yeah. So it made me very nervous. And I was like, who am I to tell these much more experienced actors than I what to do? And then all of a sudden, somewhere, somehow, something clicked in conversations with friends and other, actresses or stunt doubles in this case, who were also jumping behind the camera. And they were like, you know what? You're on your show. This is a comfortable family. They're not going to let you fall. This is the place to try it. Do it once. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to do it again. And I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll try. And so I spoke to the showrunner and he said, okay, let's give it a shot. In fact, the first person I ever told was our first AD, who I'm very close with. He directed, Eric Pott. He had directed maybe 18 episodes at that point. And so he was actually the first person I asked. I sat in his office and I said, I'm thinking of directing. What do you think? And he kind of leaned back in his chair and he says, I'm surprised you haven't asked sooner.
Oh.
That's cool.
And it was all of the moral support I needed to get that initial, to go into first gear. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just go, okay, we're ramping up into having the courage to ask. And so then I asked and he said yes. Scott Gemmell, who's now running the pit.
Yeah, running the killing on the pit, yeah.
Killing it on the pit.
That's awesome.
Yes. And so there was a part of me, because Chris O'Donnell had directed already a couple of episodes. So there was a part of me that was like, he kind of has to say yes, right? Because he said yes to another actor. It's, you don't have to, but you know what I'm saying? On paper, it would be weird if Chris got a yes and anybody else of the cast got a no.
What season are we talking here? What?
Chris?
No, for you.
It was, I think I asked in 11 and then we did 12, 13, 14 I directed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I did the last 3.
Season.
No.
Multiple?
1, then 2, then 3.
Because you did 6. You did 6 episodes, right? Yeah.
I did 3 in the final season.
I did.
Wow.
I did because they added 2 episodes. I think we had 21 or we had 20, whatever we had. Yeah. They then decided to add 2 more. And Scott was like, do you want one of those? And I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah. And it was the one that Eric Olsen wrote, actually. So he wanted to pair Eric. Oh, wow. Eric's writing one with me directing it. So anyway, yeah. So picking up. So I had in the back of my mind, I had this feeling of it's hard to say no to me asking because of the circumstances of other people having directed before too. And so my biggest goal was I want this to go from you have to say yes to I'm so happy I said yes.
Yeah.
And I think given the episodes that followed, I think they were happy they said yes.
Well, it must have felt like a home game, right? You have your brothers there supporting you. You have
and they were very supportive,
just
by the way.
Lifting you up, right?
Oh, they were insanely supportive.
It feels like that was the culture you guys had on that set, though. I know Eric wrote episodes. I know you directed. Yep. Obviously, Chris did. One of your first ADs did.
Yep. Both of our first ADs did.
Both of your first ADs.
Yep. Our UPM directed a couple. Yeah. One of our editors, 2 of our editors directed. A lot of people got their first shots on the show because again, it's a comfortable environment where it's such a well-oiled machine where you can explore, you can experiment, and it's hard to fail when you have that family behind you.
Yeah. I remember I was speaking to Todd, LL Cool J, one time, and he said, when are you gonna come over and do something with us? And I was like, hey man, call my number. I'm ready to go. And he goes, cool. What do you want to do? You want to write? You want to direct? What do you want to do over there? And I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? You can just do what you can do what you want to do?
I wandered into the wrong McDonald's. My God. I'm like, what am I doing?
You should have gone to the one on Paramount.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Stage 8 and 9, right there, that McDonald's.
But it was cool. It really opened my eyes up to that. That's the way we do things around here, is that, if we're all benefiting from this show, then what is it you want to do in your future? Because let's get you your start here then.
Yes.
And I think what a healthy way of doing that. And that mentality really helped me because I was like, after that, I would like to write. And why am I not writing on my show? So let me see if we can make that happen. And we did.
Yeah. And you've written a bunch of them.
Yeah. We just got.
How many have you written on there already?
Just 4 of them. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's fun. It's really fun to do.
And by the way, that is such a skill set. Writing is definitely not on my radar at all. And I've had so many ideas, but they're more visual, probably because of the directing, where it's like, oh, this really cool thing could happen. But what leads up to it and what comes after, I have no idea. But it'd be really cool if we saw this thing and it's falling and it's...
I don't believe that. I actually think, because I've written some too.
That's right.
Some too.
That's right.
She's done some under her belt.
But, I think I see something in your directing where you are pitching story when you're telling us. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I see it.
So I don't know, maybe. I find it overwhelming. I actually did a UCLA Extension 101 screenwriting course.
Oh, nice.
Not necessarily because I want to write a script, because I really, again, the weird self-esteem thing. Like, I'm such a confident person, but at the same time, I'm like, I sit in front of the computer and I'm like, I'm really good at writing the description, the visual, but then the dialogue is hard to come out for me. But I wrote it because I want to understand your process, right? Because if you take the time and if you're up all night the way a director is up all night, like dreaming in Steadicam shots, literally dreaming in Steadicam shots, where I have the same conversation twice because I'm shooting my coverage in this conversation and then I'm shooting your coverage in this conversation in my dream. It's like also to get onto set and then to have an actor not respond to something you've written or not respond to a blocking that you have in your mind or whatever it is. And then I think it's really, and that's also a lesson I think for us as actors, where when you're like, this line isn't working for me, maybe you were up all night thinking of that line. And it doesn't mean it has to work for the actor, but it means that the way that I communicate something isn't working for me is a lot more respectful, understanding the process that goes, people don't just write willy-nilly. It's it's hard. But
to come back to that, that we're doing that too. Like that feeling that you're feeling where you're like, the dialogue. I was like, I'm only bringing this up because I'm like, I think it's a misconception that we write like this. Okay, what he says this. Ooh, and then what comes next? I know exactly. It's this exact line. How
Here's
perfect.
The correct answer, actor.
Yeah, I'm like, we're doing the same thing. We really are.
Oh, talk about happy accidents.
Yeah.
I bet you that a large percentage of things that happen in films that are like the Oscar moment happen by mistake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've heard so many, that was improvised. That wasn't supposed to be there.
And also we're running out of film. Like, I mean, the
stress of it.
I think on NCIS we shot on film for the first 4 seasons, I want to say. 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah. I think
that's right. It was the 1900s.
That's why they didn't have trailers. They couldn't afford them without that.
Exactly.
It was like 2002 when you guys started.
We started in 2003. Yeah.
2003. There you go.
Yeah. And so, or 2002. Yeah. At any rate, it was
Was digital not available? Was that a choice?
Digital was. I think it was available, but
I made a joke.
Not you being shady when you did film when digital was available.
No, I'm totally kidding. No, I'm totally kidding.
This is going in the trailer. This is going in the trailer.
No. Film. I mean, and then I actually had, as I was telling the story to somebody else, they were like. Why would you go through that stress with film over digital, when you have digital available to you? And it's like, because it just looks different. It just has a richness and a depth that you can add with filters in digital. And by the way, digital is amazing. We've all worked with it. And the fact that you can keep rolling, and a lot of times, believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that you use in the editing room sometimes is like an actor behaving not in the scene. You just happen to capture a moment of them when they were distracted talking to another actor or looking at something in the ceiling. And you can steal those and put it in as reactions for a scene, even, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you can't do that on film.
The performance, yes.
But it can happen. Sometimes there's a funny thing that happens and it's just like, that would work at the end of that other scene. And with film, unless you have copious amounts of it, which we didn't, you can't do that. It's like we're rolling, action, cut right at the end of the scene. You can't let things linger to catch off magical moments. So just grand lesson. We of course rehearsed a bunch, but you still, the minute those cameras are rolling and they're pointing at you, no matter how much you rehearsed, you're like,
But to bring it back, that makes it feel, to me, the way you're describing it, more like theater, which is your roots. That's what you studied when you went to Lee Strasberg. So it feels like you're coming back to it.
Totally.
Yeah. When I started on NCIS, I was very aware of whenever they're filming, and I'm like, how much money does this cost? Because that celluloid is expensive. And I'm like, I can't mess this up. And then the second I feel like we went to digital, which I think we were on when we did the NCIS LA spinoff, it just felt more loose because it's like, well, they're just ones and zeros. We can just erase, delete, and then we just do more.
Literally.
We have some questions for you from the Probies of NCIS, which is, of course, the fan base. And we're going to hit you with some rapid fires. Let's just see what you got.
Okay.
Mark. It's trivia.
It's
and
trivia.
Obviously,
It's
if
trivia.
it doesn't work, the whole set collapses in on itself. If you answer one question wrong, we all have to go home.
It's mostly math.
Jeez.
Are you ready?
84.
Mark.
It's like my car rides, by the way, with my children. Give us math problems.
Exactly.
Like, losers.
So wait, they have...
No, I'm just kidding. I don't say that to their faces, only behind their backs.
So wait, they have like wonderful like human insight with these like little tomes of wisdom, and they're really good at math too.
My son's great at math. My daughter is fine with math too, but she's more of a literary person.
Cool. What are you feeding them?
Yeah. No. What do you do? What are you doing? This is crazy.
It's McDonald's. No.
Fair enough.
No, we're pretty careful. I know you're joking. We're actually pretty careful about nutrition. Pay attention to that stuff, you know.
Love it.
That's great.
All right, Mark would like to know: would you like to reappear as Kenzie on the mothership?
Sure.
Awesome.
Great. We did it.
We'll take that.
I'll get that insurance. What? That health insurance.
That DGA insurance.
That
though.
DGA.
That DGA.
No. I'm kidding. Absolutely, of course. I love it. Again, people have said multiple times, like, you know, oh, are you afraid of becoming just like attached to this character? And it's like, no, I played her for so long. She is me. I am her.
Yeah.
You know, I think
there
it
are
would
worse
be.
things.
There are worse things. I think it would be so fun.
Okay. Odair says, how satisfied are you with the ending of NCIS LA? Is there anything that you would change?
No. I'm very satisfied with the ending because I think every one of us as characters got what they deserved and what they most wanted, which was to be loved.
Yeah.
And we all got that in the end. You know, Callan gets married to Anna.
Yeah.
And seeing how he was over the 14 years of the show, like lonely foster child, like just never had somebody to call home other than Hetty maybe. Yeah. And then he gets to marry Anna at the end, who kind of also had a crazy life. You know, Kenzie and Deeks desired a child, biological child, and they adopted a girl that she saved in some crazy mission in, like next to the Mexican border. And then at the end she finds out she is pregnant. And, you know, yeah, I think, and then, you know, Barrett's character, Eric, he goes off and becomes really rich with some tech thing. And like everybody just got a great ending that they deserved, I think. Yeah.
That actually, can I actually piggyback off of that?
Please do.
Because I actually have another Probie question that's perfect. Okay. Payette asked, do you know what they had as a baby? Did they have a boy? Did they have a girl?
They had what did Deeks call it? The what ninja? The little baby ninjas? No, it wasn't baby ninjas. There was a specific term that Deeks used for what we would have one day. I don't know. In my mind, I think they have a girl. It was never established, but like, I don't know. I feel like Kenzie would have like a tough little girl.
Yeah.
All right, and piggybacking off of that, Shell says, where are Kenzie and Deeks now, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think they're back to work. I think they both love what they do far too much. I think they're both back to work, and I think Mama Deeks is probably helping out with raising little ninja baby Kenzie.
That might be
I don't know. We
called
didn't name her Kenzie. I don't know what we would name her. But
that is on the birth certificate, Ninja Baby Kenzie.
Ninja Baby Kenzie.
What did he call her though? Oh my gosh! Whoever listens to this is going to be yelling at the podcast.
I was going to say,
there's going to be a few podcast listeners who know exactly what you're trying to recall. All right, and one thing, this is not a Probie question, but I want to hear about this. Portugal has a Dancing with the Stars? And did you win that show?
What?
I think maybe you won it.
What?
Did you win it? Was it on a directing thing where you're like, yeah, I'm going to go kill it. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go kill it. I've never danced before in my life. I'm going to try it out.
No, I did. I grew up dancing. Not ballroom dancing, but modern and ballet and all that stuff. And then season 1 of Dancing with the Stars happened in 2007 in Portugal. And it was right before I moved to New York. And it was that kind of offer. I knew I was leaving in August or September. And they're like, we're doing this in the summer. Do you want it? And I was like, yes. I was in college in London. And I had watched the original So You Think You Can, not So You Think, it's Dancing with the Stars.
This is great too, though.
This is a great show too.
Right.
And so I was an avid watcher of the show in England, and I was like, God, this would be so fun to be a part of. And then when they brought it to Portugal, they were like, do you want it? And I didn't even skip a beat. I was like, absolutely. And it was so fun.
How many weeks is that?
I mean, it was a lot of weeks. It was 2007, Brian. I don't remember how many weeks it was.
What did you wear the first day?
The leg warmers, because it was, I don't know. It was like a small little dance studio in Lisbon. It was so much fun, and the professional dancers were exceptionally supportive, because again, I'd never done ballroom dancing before, and it's very specific things, and it was live music and so fun. But I will tell you that in the final, my skirt fell off.
Really?
In the Paso Doble.
In the
Paso Doble. But here's the story. So I did
have people running to YouTube right now. Like, I want to see your shirt.
It looks like it's on purpose because it happened to happen on the beat of the song.
Great.
I like go down and I'm like crouching down, and he does this thing where I'm on the floor and then I step on my own
where you're
skirt.
spinning
Yeah, and then I accidentally step on my own skirt as I'm coming up. So I step up I step up without the skirt.
Yeah.
But I was in tights and shorts, luckily. But the funny thing is that I also did the rock and roll dance for that thing. And in the rock and roll dance, I had suggested, what if I have a skirt on and I pull it off during the dance? And the choreographer was like, because the rules were a little bit different than here, we had a choreographer for everybody.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was like, no, because if you have a thing, then that means everybody has to have a thing. And so we didn't do it. And then my skirt fell off in a different dance.
That choreographer watched it and said she did what she wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Girl,
We did figure out what it is, he says. We did figure it out. Okay.
Ninja Mutant Assassins!
Little Ninja Mutant Assassin.
Little Ninja Mutant Assassins. That was it. So yes, they had a little girl Ninja Mutant Assassin is what I'm thinking.
That was going to be sticking in your head.
Oh,
until you got down
I
your
forgot
card,
it was
you
so
could Google
wordy.
it.
Little Eddie.
Little Eddie did it.
Little Eddie.
Thank you.
Eddie. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Producer
And you didn't
Eddie.
even Google it. You just knew.
No, exactly.
Yeah, they hadn't erased Little.
Don't make faces, Isaac. He knew.
Yeah, it's one of the...
He knew.
Eddie did. I said Little Eddie because they hadn't erased it, and I thought they hadn't erased Little. So I was like,
I just called him Little Eddie.
Well, because I was thinking like Little Edie, like from Little Edie, the actress,
Yeah.
And I was like, so that's why I was like, yes, Little Edie. What is going on?
Thank you for the answer, the Letty.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
The best. Danny, thank you for coming on.
This is so fun.
Thank you so much. I love hearing about your process, and I love hearing about the stories from the LA days. And
it's so fun.
Yes, and thank you for directing us. Thank you for being
I want to come back.
Family.
I want to be back. I'll just come back and have lunch with you guys. I love it.
We'll take you up on that.
Well, no, I'm going to pick your brain more. We're going to take a writing class together. How fun would that be?
Oh yeah, you know what? I took an editing class one time.
No,
it's fantastic.
I'm not
for
kidding.
real.
Yeah, I'm actually not kidding.
I'm all about breaking through fear.
Heck yeah.
Let's do it.
I know.
I
That's
love
what I made.
I'm terrified.
Yeah. No, don't be. You're so
but it's a
good.
good thing. It drives me. It's good.
It is.
Okay.
It is good. Well, thank you very much, and thank you guys for listening.
I think we all have to hold hands.
Okay, we have to hold hands?
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Go over. Here we go.
Oh,
we go.
yeah.
Thank you.
Come on.
Are we going to try? Really?
Yeah. Look at that wingspan. Follow and listen to NCIS Partners and Probies on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.